I'm Maria from lovebookfolding.com, and what this video is going to do is to go through the pattern for the teacher and the apples, as you can see here. So this is the finished one with book trim here as well. So what we'll do, we'll go through the instructions step by step, and some people prefer just reading it, some people prefer to see a video, but often it's just a case of maybe clarifying something in the written instructions. You see it on the video, you say, oh yeah, that's what I thought, but you know, it just helps to clarify that. So we'll put the finished one aside and we'll just go through what you'll get once you purchase the pattern. And by the way, if you want to purchase the pattern, then you can get it from my Etsy shop, which there's the link at the top right hand corner there. So you get the book folding pattern. Okay, so that comes with the fold, and it comes with the measurements for each of the pages, and you can either do it in for a 23cm book height, or I've also included for a 20cm book height. They're pretty much the most common height of book that you'll get, so including those covers most aspects. And you know, it's not, don't be too accurate on that. You know, if it's 22.5, then the 23 would be fine. Okay, it also comes with tab fold back positions. Now this is because it's not just you're not just folding back to two positions. Okay, so you're folding back to this position, the back of the leaf and apple, but also this is a third depth, if you like, so it gets very complicated. Not complicated, but it's easy to lose your way when you're crossing over and you've got three and the apple goes behind the letters. So I've done a fold back position that you just follow that, and makes it a lot easier. You don't have to worry about that, just follow the fold back position. I'll go into that a little bit later. Okay, you also get some templates. One is one that I include with all my new patterns, which is the flowers, so you can print these off onto different coloured card or paper, etc., and just create different depths of flowers. You can have multi-layered or just single layered. I've got single layered here, I think. Yeah, so they come with all my new patterns, so you can decorate your finished book. And there is actually a separate video tutorial on how to make those, so I'll put the link again up in the top right hand corner for that. This one also comes with specific ones for this pattern, which enables you to make cards and tags, etc. And just to show you the sort of thing, here's the card. Okay, so you can write the teacher's name on, or a little message there, and teacher's name on the inside, and so that's the card. And then obviously the tags can be made up and decorated as you wish. So these are just examples of what you can do once you print them off. You can put sort of the white bits on, and there's, I don't know whether you can see those little sparklies as well. And there's another one sort of here using some of the printed pages from the book that you're using as well. And this one was just made from part of the apple, and then just made a big tag as well. So you can do all sorts of things with this, and basically what you need to do is just print it out onto coloured card like this. And you know, these obviously were created by printing one onto green and one onto pink, and then mixing and matching, cutting out different aspects of the tags, etc., and building them up. Okay, so that comes with it. To one side. Also, what comes with it is this sheet, and this sheet is basically what you can print off and and cut here to fit, just to make that sort of tie in with what you're doing here. Again, excuse me, you're just printing onto a coloured sheet of card and cutting that to size for your particular book, and then gluing it onto the side. Okay, so that all comes with the pattern, so they're printable downloads. Then you have the instructions, obviously, so we'll start to go through that. Okay, so to the instructions for Apple Teacher. The first thing we need to do is to find our starting page. Now if you go to lovebookfolding.com, there's a tab there at the top that'll take you to the calculator that'll help you do that very easily. You just need to put in the number of pages that you have front and back. Okay, and it'll be as simple as that. Okay, so the link again, top right hand corner for that calculator. What we'll do, well, there is also a step-by-step video tutorial on how to find your starting page, and that's in my Book Folding Basics course, and it'll be lesson 5 again. There's a link there for you to that as well, and that'll take you through actually finding yourself. So calculator or go through, either way, you can have a look at that. What we're going to do now is assume that you found your starting page. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to go through here is the top marks, okay, on the instructions. Now these are the marks we're going to be making across the top here of every page that you're going to be folding. Now you can do these all at once, so you just mark and do all the pages all in one go, or you can do each page as you go, or separately, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So top marks will dictate where you're folding to here, so it's the depth of these aspects, and you can have a little play with that yourself. It's something that is variable, and if you change the positions, it can give you a different effect. So you could have the apple at 5 in this case. What we've got here, okay, so we've got the background is at 5, the apple and the leaf, they're at 6, so they go back as further. The teacher is in the foreground, and that's at 4, and we're talking about the distance that we're folding the pages from the front edge to here. Okay, and you can play around with that. You could, as I started to say, the apple could be at 5 and this background here could be at 6, so the apple and the leaf would be raised, so it would give you that different effect. The teacher could be at 6, and then if the teacher is at 6, then it's indented. Okay, so have a play with that if you wish. That's, you know, matter of preference. What I did here in this example, as I say, so we've got teacher at 4, background at 5, apple and leaf at 6. Okay, you can measure that, so it's from here to here using a ruler each time. Not a problem. However, what I tend to do is make up a card. Okay, and what I do, rather than folding at 4, at 5, at 6, we're going to be folding 2, because when you fold it like that, it's a lot easier to do that. So all we need to do is double up the 4, 5, 6, so we're doubling up. So it's the marks on here. I'll bring that up to you so you can see that. So we're going to be marking at 8 centimeters from the edge, 10 centimeters from the edge, 12 centimeters from the edge. Okay, and at the end, so you're measuring that from this folded edge, and then you have this flap which then folds over. Okay, so that makes it a lot easier, because all I need to do now is just go through. It depends really what I'm doing. If I'm just watching television or something, I'll just go through and just do the marks for that for all the pages, because it doesn't need any thinking. The marks are all there. I I can watch TV, whatever. So I just do that all the way through. Okay, but you could do one page by one page. So that's the top marks. Marking the measurements. No rulers for that. Obviously, can use just a standard ruler. I have in the past used a Perspex ruler, which is just a standard crafting ruler. Then what I did is attached a piece of plastic at the end so that it hooked over, so that just makes it easier because you know that that's the reference and you're not having to check that, and you just mark the it's down the side. What I tend to use now is a Incra rule. This is actually for woodworking. It comes from America. It's a bit expensive. I think this was about £35. It's cheaper obviously if you buy it in the US because you haven't got the shipping or anything, but it is really accurate because all you need to do is these, I don't know whether I can get that close enough, but it's you just put them into the relevant hole, yeah, and you can just put it in the relevant hole and just drag across. It's very difficult to show that on camera because you have to get into a position that actually the camera wouldn't be able to show what you're doing, but you stick it in the hole, drag it across, it gives you a cutting line as well. That's really good. For the purposes of the video, I'm going to use my adapted crafting one, and so we need the pattern for this. Just one moment. So I'm going to be using book height for 23 centimetres for this. The first 10, there's no fold. These are the first 10 here. Sorry, there's no cutting. No. There's no fold. And I'll show you what I do with this. So they would be just 10 pages like that, yeah, and I've sort of jumped ahead on this basically. So you would get a book that looks like a picture on the instructions, so it hasn't got any panels down here, it's just the pages. Okay, so you could leave it like that, and your extra pages, if you've got extra pages, could be left like that, or, which is what I tend to do, is just excuse me, fold it back to the background and it just sets it off even more. If you've got more spare pages, just fold them all, yeah, and then you can see the panel as well. Okay, I'm just gonna have to stop because I'm gonna have a coughing fit. Okay, I've had a drink, so hopefully you'll be okay now. So what we're going to go on to now is step 4, marking the measurements. So we get our pattern. As I say, on the pattern the first 10 are no fold, so you would just leave those blank, yeah, and there'd be 10 folds, so that's 2 pages, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And as I say, you can leave those unfolded, or you can fold them back to the background at the end if that's what you prefer. Okay, so these top marks will have already been made. Let me just do those. Okay, so all done. So marking the measurements. Okay, so it will be fold 11, for instance, which is the first one that's got any marks, which is at 14 and 14.4. So we just go 14 and 14.4. Okay, and again you can go through, which is what I tend to do, and just mark all those marks through the book. And again, depending what I'm doing, or if I want to vary what I'm doing, then I'll sort of change around. Okay, so you just want to do all of those all the way through, and you know, if there's more than 2, just mark all of those down the front edge of the page. Okay, so the next one is making the vertical folds. So basically this is where we start to fold. You can do the marks and the folding any order you like, or as I say, do it all together or do each page as you go through, but what I would suggest is you do the marks and the folding obviously before you do the cutting, because if you've cut, for instance, if you cut these marks before you folded, it's just going to make it a little bit more fiddly to do. So fold up to those marks, and what I do is just bring that back and just check that horizontal. But basically if I go across the top of the page with a dark background, I can see if I then pull it back as soon as it goes level, then I know excuse me, I know that that's going to be vertical down here. And again with the second mark, I use bone folder, you could just use a finger if you like, that's fine. Again, it's down to preference. And how I do it, I just use my finger on the middle so that holds it in place, and then use the bone folder for the rest. Okay, once it's folded, we then go on to the cutting. Okay, cutting the marks, so we're making a horizontal cut at each of the marks. And what you can do, what I tend to do, is use the text as a guide, okay, and try and get your scissors positioned so you're going to take one cut rather than a snip and move, snip and move. One cut is going to give you a much more accurate. God, I had to do a little snip at the end. Okay, so there the marks for this first. So we're just doing fold number 11 at the moment here. So folding back, generally speaking, if you're just doing 2 levels, you just alternate between the tabs. These are the tabs that you've now created after cutting. Okay, so we go to the tab fold back positions. This is where we start to follow. Okay, so if you're going to fold the first 10 rather than leaving them outstretched, you're going to be folding to 5. Okay, we'll leave them no folds at the moment. So 11, this one would be at 5, so this is 4, 5, 8, no, sorry, 4, 5, 6, so that one's at 5, we fold that one too. The next one is at 4, so we fold that to the 4 centimetre mark, and this is the distance, as I say, from this front edge. And then the third one is at 5. Okay, that's it. Basically, that's your completed page. Okay, so as I say, there's just 2 depths here, which makes it simple. Where you're crossing over this guide when you've got sort of 3, and in fact I'll give you an example. Okay, so do the top marks. Okay, then we come down to fold number 44. Okay, so I've got the pattern sheet for 44. It was on the next page here, so sorry about that. Okay, so 44 was at 10, 10.8, 11.25, 11.75, and I'm just doing this roughly. I'd take more care if I was doing it off camera. 13, excuse me, and 13.5. Okay, then fold back to, that's the 6, that's the 5, that's the 4, and we'll cut back. Okay, so this is where this is going to help us. The fold back positions for 44. Just follow those. So the top tab would be at 5, which is the middle one. Then it would be at 4. Then the next one is excuse me, that frog's coming back. 5, 4, 5, 6, so that's the furthest one, and then 5. Okay, so that's how you follow the fold back positions, which will make it a ton times easier than actually trying to figure out which is for the letter, which is for the apple, which is background. Okay, so just follow that. It's pretty much foolproof. But if you have any questions at all, as always, I'm here to help, so please message me. Just a note on that, the best way to message me is on Etsy. I'm having some problems with the email for Love Book Folding, which, because it's delaying coming back to me, so Etsy's the best way to message me on my shop there. There's a messaging system. So that's basically it. You just complete all the measurements, okay, and you end up with this. And as I say, if you want this look, then you just need to fold those back to the background if you've got extra pages, more than the 10, okay. And also when you're fixing your fold, particularly if you sort of put it to one side for a bit, then the bit that's folded here squashes up more. If you complete this a lot quicker, it'll sort of, it won't be as tight as this. So what I tend to do is, as you can see in the picture of the instructions, and just follow that and just stick bits of card, and what you're doing is just excuse me, sticking bits of card in here where you need the gap. And you're putting that as tight as you can with elastic band or ribbon, and just leave it overnight, and that'll be fine, okay. And the other thing on the instructions is what I sort of spoke about earlier, and this is the He Has Risen one, where you can just change the depths and experiment with that for the different looks. I think that's time for me to go, because I'm just about to have another coughing fit. I hope that's helped, but as I say, just message me if you need anything else. Thank you, bye.